Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us here on KREM 2 News at noon. I'm Laura Papetti. And we begin by talking about the weather because it's too pretty not to talk about. We're going to check in on the forecast, see what's going to be happening the rest of the week as we begin today. Thomas Patrick, you are outside. Absolutely gorgeous morning. Perfect morning for a walk with the dog. All of it. It was great.
And it's even better right now, Laura. In fact, I was actually just joking with our producers behind the scenes that I left my jacket at home intentionally. I left my sunglasses at home unintentionally. I'm really missing them right now because it's so bright outside. But look at this beautiful weather. Mid-50s through the metro area in the I-90 corridor, which, by the way, is about as warm as it was all day yesterday. Whitworth is reporting 66 degrees. The thermometer might be in the direct sunlight, so that's why they're probably about 10 degrees warmer in terms of that observation. But nonetheless, if it's 66 in the sun and 55 in the shade, it's probably awesome outside. We are still going to warm things up by a couple more degrees. Look at tomorrow, by the way, 71 for the expected high. So these next 2 days are looking phenomenal weather-wise. There is hardly a cloud in the sky all throughout the inland northwest. That's the way it's going to stay almost all week long. So it's about the subtle temperature trends. We are mostly going to be in the 60s. The long-term outlook does start to trend a little bit cooler around Easter. But as you saw, we have at least one day in the 70s. So coming up, we'll show you that temperature trend and also clue you in on when we're going to have some windy weather for the inland northwest. Your weather impact forecast is in about 15 minutes.
All right, my friend, thank you. Stocks opened the day higher after some confusion this weekend about tariffs on electronics from China. So we're taking a live look right now at the Dow as it continues throughout the day. Today, President Trump is offering some clarification on what China is paying while also welcoming El Salvador's president to the White House. Natalie Brand brings us now an update.
President Trump says there's not an exception, but that these high-tech items from China will be subject to a different tariff. The administration says it's looking into semiconductors and the electronic supply chain as part of a national security investigation on tariffs by the Commerce Department. President Trump is meeting with El Salvador's president at the White House to discuss immigration.
We appreciate working with you because you want to stop crime, and so do we.
It comes as the president's trade policy continues to unfold, with new questions about the tariff on some popular electronics from China, like iPhones. Administration officials say those goods are excluded from the 125% import tariff, but still subject to an earlier 20% tariff related to fentanyl. U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer says those tech items will also be considered for separate national security-related tariffs with the goal of boosting manufacturing of semiconductors in the U.S.
It's shifting from one bucket of tariffs to a different bucket of potential tariffs.
You have to show a little flexibility, but we go back to what we have to do. The markets have been very strong once they got used to it.
Small business owners in the U.S. are pleading for flexibility as they face the full 145% tariff on Chinese imports.
Small businesses like mine are marginalized and left to bear the burden of this and to see our families suffer.
Ralph Bradley is the owner of a Texas-based company that imports lighting equipment for items including trailers, RVs, and farm equipment. His father started a joint venture in the early 90s with a family-owned company in China that makes the products.
We have a great relationship with them and are scared about not just our business being in detriment, but what happens to their business and their families.
Trump administration officials say negotiations with China will happen between Presidents Trump and Xi, but so far talks have not been scheduled. White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett spoke to reporters here this morning and said the Commerce Department and Small Business Administration are taking calls and looking into ways to try and help small businesses impacted by the tariffs. I've reached out to the SBA for more details and specifics on what's being done. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
All right, 12:05 happening today. The Spokane City Council will hold its first reading of what's called Ban the Address Ordinance. The ordinance would make it so employers cannot ask about an applicant's address or housing history until after they offer the job. So the goal of that is to help reduce discrimination against people that are dealing with homelessness. Also happening today, the city of Spokane will discuss plans for a new Chick-Fil-A. KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones telling us what we can expect from the hearing.
So that hearing will be tonight at City Hall. Of course, it's a part of the City Council meetings, but this could be the next location. We're off of Mission and Ruby. This is where the proposed Chick-fil-A would be taking place. The problem though, you can still see there's some older properties, some older homes that are currently standing in this location. So that's what the hearing's about tonight. There's still homes and all of that. Of course, this is not too far off from Gonzaga's campus. There'd be a lot of foot traffic. Of course, there's lots of car traffic as well between Ruby and Division. So tonight's hearing is focused on, quote, the vacation of the west 150 feet of the alley between Mission and Cinto from Ruby to Pearl as requested by Chick-fil-A. Council will read Ordinance C 36642, which ultimately approves vacating of the property. As for when any form of real construction will take place, that's still to be determined. But what we do know, this is the next step towards a booming area for chicken. Spokane is becoming somewhat of a ground for chicken wars. Fast food chicken wars. Think about all the different places that have opened up. We've got Chick-fil-A, of course, that's, quite a few years ago up further north. Well, their neighbor will soon be Raising Cane's. That's another chicken spot. Dave's Hot Chicken spot opened up recently. Houston Hot Chicken. They've opened up 2 spots, and now this could be the 2nd spot for Chick-fil-A. So lots of them, and who knows, maybe this isn't the last to come here to the Inland Northwest. But for now, reporting here in Spokane, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
Spokane County Fire District 8 is asking folks to weigh in on the new levy. District 8 covers the big area of South Spokane, including Moran Prairie, Glen Rose, and Micah. Now, if it passes, Proposition 1 would raise the EMS levy from 29 to 50 cents per $1,000 of assessed value. The department says they need the money to add staff so that paramedics are ready 24 hours a day. Ballots for this issue are due by April 22nd.